Well, hello there, you guys. Welcome to What's the Tea with Gen X, Y, and Z. We are three generations, three perspectives, but one cup of truth. So get ready for a refreshing take on hot button topics because we're going to be dishing on everything from social justice to pop culture with humor, honesty, and just a little healthy debate. We're going to sip the tea, spill the honest truth, and then find some common ground across the generational gap. This show is guaranteed to stir the pot. So, greetings from the wonderful Gen Xers. I'm Dr. Melissa.
And what's up, y'all? I'm Amber, holding it down for us millennials.
Hey everybody, I'm Zion as always, keeping it real for Gen Z.
See how I just mouthed their thing? I don't
Consistent.
know. I guess, yeah, there is something to be
Very
said
consistent.
for consistency.
Gotta have consistency in life.
Yeah.
Amen. And then you got to have flavor.
Hey, that's
In
why we
life.
say it a different way each time, but it's still the same thing.
You don't say it a different way. You say the exact same thing.
Some people just like to
you
be
say it with a
eased
little,
in.
Yeah, sometimes we say it with a little bit of, enthusiasm. Sometimes we say it smooth. It just depends.
I think people appreciate my soothing voice, so I give the audience what they want.
Well, I will say people like different things. Some people like flavor. Some people like dryness.
Different strokes for different folks. Hey.
It's all love, though. I love them. And speaking of the L word, right? Today's topic, you guys know, in a previous episode, we talked about respect, and we sort of unpacked what does respect mean across the generations.
Right.
And that conversation was juicy.
Absolutely.
I mean, my goodness. And it was so interesting. I told my esteemed co-host that I'm a lifelong learner. So I am constantly, Dr. M, and I'm sitting here and I'm giving all this wisdom, but y'all don't get it twisted. I'm a student. I am always listening and learning. And I told them that episode, I feel like I learned so much about our perspectives.
Absolutely.
About respect, right?
Absolutely.
Because, to be honest with you, no shade intended. My generation, we tend to think of the younger generations as inherently disrespectful. I just be honest with you. I'm like, these kids don't have no respect. And to me, it goes even as deep as, you could be like in a full conversation and they're like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you're talking and you're trying to make eye contact and it's like, or you're sitting at the dinner table and your kids are like texting each other about you at the table. And,
Oh wow.
I know that was a little bit of.
Yeah. Hey, look, shot one over here.
But being a part of that discussion really did help me to see how your particular perspective about respect can really just be siloed. I mean, it's really just based on how you see the world. And maybe what's disrespectful is not understanding that respect looks differently
Right.
across the generations.
100%.
So that was respect. If respect got us all hot and bothered, today we're going to talk about love. Love, right? Let's talk about what love looks like across the generations. Like, how do we define it? How does that differ? And so I'm going to throw it out there and say to you guys, when I say the word love, define it for yourself. What does it mean? Ooh, that was creepy.
That was a little creepy.
That was a little creepy.
Ooh, that was even worse.
No, love makes me giddy, y'all. Like I'm really a helpless romantic. Like I love love.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I don't know, all aspects of love. Like I love it. Like I will literally sit in the house and binge watch romantic movies. It doesn't matter who's in it, as long as I know the storyline is a happy ending.
Ain't always happy though. It always ain't happy.
That's the part right there.
Right, that is true. I have seen some where it didn't, but
Oh.
I mean, it was still a great storyline. Hence
sure.
why my favorite movie is the Titanic, and that didn't end well. But I still
Did not.
and I still love it. But like, I'm all for love. Like, love to me is like a safe place, like melting in somebody's arms.
Oh, Lord
you
have
know,
mercy.
and melting in somebody's arms and just getting those soft touches and soft kisses, and it doesn't even just have to be from a significant other. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm like, wait a minute.
I think that's
No,
all
no,
we
no.
I
live
think
for.
you have gone. I mean,
no.
I'm getting ready to start playing the bow chicka wow wow music. I'm like, good gracious.
No, because listen, with my kids, like the love I get from my children, like it really does melt me into pieces.
Okay.
Really, love for me is just safe and knowing that it's genuine. If I'm having bad days, you still gonna love me because I have a lot of bad days. Even if what I don't say is up to par, you still gonna love me anyway. Because I mean, if you know me, then you know. I don't need to explain that part, but
Right.
I
Okay.
don't know. I guess that's the best. You know what I'm saying? Anita Baker, she said it. She said it best. With sweet love. But yeah, that's all I can come up with.
Hey
for
man,
right now.
we're gonna throw this to Zion because I'm just sitting there thinking just a number of things that I need to unpack with
I just went a whole bunch of different
it's
places.
okay, but I mean it was great. It was a great perspective.
It was
But
interesting.
I am going to put on
it's very
my 35 years therapist hat, and I'm gonna walk her through that one. I can't wait.
You know what I be calling people that be acting like that, or I guess that think like that. I call them red flags sometimes, man. Let me just start right there.
Ooh, okay.
Like, you ever been on a date? Not a date, but maybe you talking to. I'm gonna say specifically women. I'm just gonna be real. You ever talk to a woman and then you ask her what's her ideal first date, and she said she just wants both people to simultaneously be at the bar at the same time, be all the way across the room from one another, and just so happens at the same time to just instantly lock eyes, then look back, then lock eyes again, but they don't say anything, and then they both leave the bar at the same time, and it's a rainy day outside, and then the guy sees a puddle and he just throws his jacket over the puddle and carries her over, and then they share the first kiss. You know.
Now that right there,
I ain't saying that's you.
That's wild.
I ain't saying that's you, right? I was a little scared we was going in that direction. I was like, Lord have mercy, oh man. They a little out of touch. They need to probably put the rom-coms down a little bit. But yeah, okay. Let me get back.
I don't live through the movies. It's just nice saying it. You know
it's nice. It's just, you know,
a lot of it I know it's not gonna happen. It's
not you specifically. Some people though, they
I felt that was
Bible.
like, I think I really did feel like that was like geared towards me. It's okay because how I was talking, that's how I was feeling. I was walking in La La Land. Like y'all wasn't even present when I was daydreaming talking about it.
Okay, but let's give us your definition. You've already poo-pooed on all of the chick flicks and all of the, you know, the things that women have in their heads, because we do.
I ain't poop on them.
A little bit.
I just said don't take it too. Don't get into deep.
Bit.
I said I was just like, don't get into deep.
What? So okay.
All right. So
how do you define love?
For me, it's like it's a little similar to respect, but you go the extra mile. So for me, it's like, for example, I think when you love someone, it's kind of, as Amber suggested, it should be unconditional love. So when you respect someone, you might tolerate them, but when you love someone, it goes a level beyond. It's no more proximity from obligation or anything like that. It's just a genuine desire to be near that person, to protect that person. Like, I can respect you. I don't know if I'm going to lay my life down for you because I respect you, but I genuinely love you. I've genuinely put your interests beyond my own. You know, when you're winning, I congratulate you. Same time when you're losing, I congratulate you. I go to sleep, I'm thinking about you. And it's not just, for me, it's not just significant other. That can be your child, that can be your parents, that can be your siblings.
Okay.
You know, that's probably the easiest way for me to simplify it from my subjective standpoint.
So when I listened to both of y'all's definitions, which were good, it seems to lay out this image that love is inherently positive.
I don't think it's always positive.
Well, I'm just going on your definition.
Yeah,
so I'm walking with you on your definition.
They do got some tough love out there where it ain't always pretty.
Well, when you say love is safe, my question is love always safe? When you say love is good, is it always good?
No, I don't think it's always good. I think there is some out there that is, you can have an unhealthy love. Like you can think that's what you want, and you can think it's love, but it's really lust.
Okay.
So it's not really love then.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
But what about if
you
it
can
is
think-
love?
you
So,
can
for
think that's what it
instance,
is.
what if, because love, by definition,
Right.
if you think about it, it's individual, but it's collective. Because it's
Right.
individually what you feel,
Right.
but it's also, there's an object of that
Okay.
love,
Absolutely.
which makes there a dynamic,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So it's possible for me to have all of those things inherently, love, I'll lay my life down for you,
Mhm.
you mean everything to me, all of that. And the object of that is oppositional to that,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
or does not return that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Is not receptive to it,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So if I was to throw my definition out
Yeah.
of love, and it's not different
Mm-hmm.
from what the two of you said, I just think we're grabbing different aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say love is a decision.
Oh, absolutely.
Love is a choice.
Yeah.
We think of love as, to your point, looking across, oh yeah, and that's emotions.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
feel good emotion. That's attraction.
Mhm.
That might be lust. All of
Mhm.
that. And the thing about those feelings is that they're fleeting,
Yeah.
right? Like it won't stand the test of storms.
No.
Right? Because it's really based on external things. I like how you look. I like how you smell. I like how you
Mhm.
make me feel. Conditions, which
Right.
means if for some reason your looks change or you don't make me feel good like that
Right.
anymore, I don't like how you smell today.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy for those conditions then to shift how I feel.
Mhm.
Right.
Love being a decision. When I say love is a decision, it's a decision that you make for yourself that you're going to extend with no expectation
Exactly.
of what you will get back.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I say I love my children,
Mm-hmm.
when it's unconditional,
Right.
it means I don't need to, they could act the fool. They could decide tomorrow that they don't love me.
Right.
If that changes my love, then I'm going to make the assumption that it might not be love.
Right.
It might have been deep emotions.
Right.
So when we talk about what we learn about love, a lot of us we go to that feel good place, and that's where we live in there. And then when something shifts or happens, we're thrown off because it's like, well, I thought it was love.
Right.
Yeah.
If you love the person, it was love.
Exactly.
Listen, I have loved some people and that stuff has blown up,
Yeah.
honey. That's blown up in my face. I'm like, oh Lord. And I'm talking about friendships, and I'm talking
Mhm.
about family, and I'm
Yeah.
talking about relationships
Yeah.
where I deeply loved and I did not get
Yeah.
that back.
Yeah. Sometimes that new feeling of love just be like a state of euphoria. Like it's not really love.
Love got to
Just
stand the
things are
test of
just
time.
things are just working out perfectly to
At that
exactly
time.
how you want it.
Exactly.
That's why love has to be unconditional, as you said.
Right.
Yeah.
So the reciprocity piece.
Mhm.
So when we talk about love, here's some things that I want to throw out to you guys. Because when we talk about love, we say, like, if I love somebody, your job, now let's not talk about the other person. I'm just
Right.
talking about us.
Right.
Mhm.
When you love somebody, tell me how you see that and what do you do? What do you feel like you should do for them, towards them, if you love them?
I might need to sit this question out.
Uh-uh.
I do the most.
Girl, we don't have no bench in here. We all suited up and booted up. Well, you say do the most, but explain what you mean, because believe it or not, that's impactful what you're saying.
Yeah, and listen, y'all, I'm still sitting in my spaces by myself and reworking some stuff, because what I've always thought was love wasn't. What I thought I had to do to receive it, at least. You shouldn't have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops for somebody to love you. That's just the bottom line of it. If they love you, they love you. If they don't, they don't. It shouldn't be something transactional. Like, it shouldn't be, well, I have to book this flight, or I have to do this for your birthday, or I have to do all of these different things for you to say that you love me.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to do the most for you to say that you love me. You should love me as I am and for who I am. Know that I have a big heart, and there's nothing on this planet that I would not do for you if it's within the means of me being able to.
Yep.
Somebody that's willing to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
With me.
Yeah.
Fight on the battleground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm about to fall backwards, you
Yeah.
gonna come and catch me. You know what I'm saying?
And is that what you give to them?
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do everything I can in my power to show you that I love you.
Yep.
I'm gonna do everything that I said. Now, I'm not gonna hurt you intentionally. Don't get me wrong, because some people say if you love somebody, you won't hurt them. Like, you don't set out to hurt somebody intentionally. Well, it is some people out there like that, but if you got a big heart like me, I'm not one of those ones that's gonna hurt you intentionally.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't ever want anybody to think that, but I'm definitely gonna do everything I can in my power if I love that person. Like, I would give the clothes off my back if the person I love needed them. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
and sometimes it's a good and that's a bad thing, because like I don't know what the limit to that is.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
I keep doing it.
Well, she's not lying. Everything you said is the truth. But so, not to get religious, love is God.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And what you just said is the picture of that.
You're
That it
reflection of
is,
God, yeah.
it is what you would do. So even when you say, I do the most, is that the most, or is that what it's supposed to be? Like, sometimes we police ourselves to not love fully because how people have treated us.
Right.
And then we say, well, I got used, or they didn't give it back, and that's okay. They
Right.
didn't. That means that they have a problem with their love button. Their
Right.
love button is broke. Somebody,
Right.
people, is broke. It's,
Right.
it's
How
not
they
working.
receive it, you're not,
Right.
they're not responsible for that. So.
And
But-
it's hard not to change your heart when you've been constantly abused and hurt
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
of your big heart and how much you love. Like,
Yep.
that is the test. Not changing who you are after what you've been through.
Woo, child. Now that'll preach. All right, Z. What about you?
Okay, so how do I show someone I love them?
Mhm.
Is pretty much the question. So for me, I guess a lot of that is variable. I guess it really kind of depends on that person's love language and how they want to be loved, because it can fluctuate sometimes. For me, how I like to show someone I love them, I'm not a materialistic person. So my priorities, like, I'm always going to try to cater to someone's necessities. Like, before I give you a little big old Coach bag or something, if you got dreams of starting up a business, I might help pay for your brand, or buy a product, or do different things. To me, the things that really matter,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's going to fulfill you, and not the materialistic thing you're probably not using too much. Knowing how it goes sometimes.
So is that a generational thing to some point, that we think we've now relegated love to things?
Materialistic
I
things,
think so. I want to say, I would say it's a generational thing.
I think so too.
I'm gonna say too. I know I say this all the time, but I think it's true. I think it's a social media thing as
Mhm.
well, especially with just the ability to kind of see how everybody else is living their life, especially those who are more financially fortunate.
Yeah.
And people just have a desire to want things, and
Wanna be
when
like
people
them.
receive things, they think that's love, and it's not love. Like, what was the thought behind it?
Right.
So when I show someone I love them, I'm going to do something like, in a way, bring them closer to their family, or bring them closer to their dreams or their goals, or let them know, despite of their flaws, I'm not going nowhere, because they wouldn't go nowhere when they see my flaws.
Amen.
It's just a different level. My priorities are just different in that
Oh,
sense.
that's so sweet.
It is
Yeah.
sweet. So the thing about it is, and it's good, y'all, because what we're really trying to unpack is, and having a very vulnerable, transparent conversation about it. This is love. When you start talking about love, this is sensitive.
Mhm.
Okay? And because I venture to guess there's not a person that's watching us or listening to us that has not had some degree of hurt around love.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because oftentimes our love is steeped in expectation.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking, like, how do we love? Because generally when we say, well, not from the standpoint of us loving somebody, if somebody says they love me,
Mhm.
instantaneously I have expectations of what that looks like based on how I love.
Right.
Right? Like, this is how I show love. And so I'm looking to get that back. And if I don't get that back, then that's not love. Right? And I think that's the part that we have to rest on. Now, let's be clear. There's some things that ain't love. Baby, this is not individual, and you got your own way of loving. Talking to me like I'm dirt, baby, no. Just I haven't seen a definition yet that will follow that criteria. Okay? But here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to throw it out there. It sounds wonderful. when you love somebody. But is it possible to love someone and still hurt them?
Absolutely.
Talk about it. Preach. Talk about it.
Absolutely. I don't mean to disrupt the order of things, but
No, do your thing.
There is no order.
nah, let me stop playing. Well, nah, like, we're human beings at the end of the day. We're always going to hurt each other, whether it's intentional or not. There's going to be times we misunderstand each other. There's going to be times that we do things selfishly, even though we love that person, because we're plagued to mistake and failure. So there's going to be times. I think the important thing for that is because you know you're going to hurt someone. Love can't be conditioned on. I don't know. Love can't be conditioned on one circumstance or one situation, and I think that reconciliation part is very crucial. Like, when I hurt you, what do I do afterwards? How do I reassure you, let you know, like, that wasn't my intention? I can't say it won't happen again, but I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it don't happen again. Because this doesn't have to always be something severe like infidelity. Like, that's not even what I'm suggesting. But, like, I could not, do the laundry one day, and I saw you doing the dishes the other day, because I'm in my mind. Because we're human beings, I don't always know what's in your mind. I don't always know what you need in that exact moment, because sometimes I'm focused on my needs. Yeah. And that's why it's important for love to always take the effort. You're not going to be perfect at it because we're human beings. We're not God, right? Mm-hmm. But it's always important to take the effort to step outside of ourselves and worry about what does that person need. And that's why I personally focus more on necessities.
So reconciliation is
crucial.
It's because we will fall.
It's crucial.
We will fall.
It's crucial. Absolutely.
What do you think, Amber?
I think communication is big.
Yeah.
Because you can't read somebody's mind.
Yeah.
And you made a good statement earlier, Zion, when you were talking about love languages.
Yeah.
Because a person can have multiple love languages.
Right.
It just doesn't have to be singular.
Yeah.
And I think self-reflection also is major.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't know what you want, know your boundaries, and know what long-term you want in another individual, it can look like confusion.
Yeah.
So, really understanding yourself and knowing how to effectively communicate to another party, whether it's your partner, parent, children, like, I really think that's like huge, because miscommunication can cause a lot.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if you don't know how to effectively communicate what you're thinking or what you're going through, and it doesn't come off conveyed effectively to the other party, it can ruin something special.
It hurts because nobody can read your mind.
Exactly.
Y'all, listen. Exactly. I know y'all see the little man and they have the thing, people cannot read your mind. You are responsible for saying to a person what you need, and if you felt like you didn't get what you needed. If not, this is where bitterness and resentment comes in, because you're seething. Well, you should know. Why should I know? Well, there's 1,000 things I got on my mind. I have no clue what I did that might have caused you to feel like I acted in a way that wasn't loving, right? And so when we talk about this, and I love it, being sure that we communicate, being sure that we're able to reconcile. I'm going to throw the fly in the buttermilk with this. There are times when I love someone and I intentionally hurt them.
Yeah.
How? That sounds awful. It does.
Yeah.
Truth hurts. Mm-hmm. So oftentimes when we're talking about love, we're talking about just saying things. Ooh, you so pretty. Oh, you so smart. Oh, and that's wonderful. And part of what love is to speak to, this is my definition, that I want the greatness out of you.
Yeah.
Whether you like what I said or not, whether I can't always stroke you in your mediocrity. Yeah. I can't come and bring you food while you're laying on the floor. What do I mean by that? The analogy that I give people all the time, that if I'm sitting in this chair and Amber pushes me in the floor intentionally, being mean, she just slams me to the floor. Whose fault is that? Amber. Amber was wrong for that. But y'all, if y'all come back next episode and Dr. M is still laying in this floor on the same spot,
and that's your fault.
My fault.
Right.
So I'm something happened to me that shouldn't have. Somebody treated me in a way that they shouldn't have.
Right.
And now I am laying on the floor. Now, here's the thing. If Zion decided, well, Dr. M is on the floor, y'all, let's bring her lunch and breakfast. And they put the little dropper in so I can get the water. And they feed me on the floor. Instead of saying to me, Dr. M, I need you to get up.
Yeah.
Like, we got food on the table. Can you please get up out of the floor and sit at the table so you can eat? Love is not feeding me while I'm on that floor. Because you know that I'm living beneath my potential and my capacity.
Absolutely.
So when I say there are times when I intentionally hurt, not that I want you to hurt.
Right.
I know that what I'm going to say is going to hurt, and I am intentionally saying it.
Yeah.
I am saying to you that you are better than this. I am saying to you, this is destructive for your life. You can choose to do what you want. And oftentimes we won't confront people because we're worried they'll get mad at us.
Yeah.
Well, the moment you do that, you care more about you than them.
Or they leave us.
They leave us. Now, what that means? I care more about me than you. It's like watching somebody drive and they're going over a cliff. And you go, I don't want to say anything because they'll be mad. So you'll watch them go over the cliff and die rather than have them mad at you. Here's Dr. M. You can be mad at me, baby. I don't want you to go over the cliff.
Right.
I don't want you to die. I don't want you to fail. I don't want you to have an experience that you don't have to have.
Right.
And so we stop on love as being real feel good, but I want you to understand love hurts.
Yeah, it does.
And it can hurt.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My definition of love is that it's not about me.
Right.
When I love you, I'm more about you than I am about me. And what that means is even if you walk away from me, even if you leave me, if you leave me because I refuse to watch you live beneath, I refuse to not tell you the truth that, hey, there's a cliff. You're going over the cliff. If you leave me because I had the audacity to say that, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because I'm like, the only option was to watch that happen and just stand back complicit to that.
I refuse to.
I refuse to. I love you too much. So when I say that love for me is not transactional, it's not even reciprocal. You don't have to love me. At the end, you guys know that I'm a woman of faith. I'm never going to be judged by how well you loved me.
Right.
I'm going to be judged by how well I loved you.
Right.
You don't have to love me.
Yeah.
I have to give an account to myself.
Right. 100%.
Right? So love can hurt.
Yeah, I got some people that I still love to this day, and I probably shouldn't, but there's no on and off switch for love when it comes to me.
Yeah.
Once I love you, I love you. I can't unlove you.
Absolutely.
Just because you hurt me.
Absolutely.
I'm going to always love you, but that doesn't mean that you got to be in close proximity to me.
Boom.
I can love you from a distance, and that's fine. And I
Absolutely.
sleep good at night knowing that I still love the people that hurt me.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because how do you not?
Exactly.
If it's love, and if it's the true definition of love, first of all, you guys, we're going to button this up. Stop beating yourself up for loving.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes we beat ourselves up. I should have never. No, you loved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my goodness, that's one of the greatest things you can do as a human being.
But you know, when
is to have the capacity to love.
But you know, when we were, well, for me, I was about to make this as us thing. But you know, growing up, sometimes people used to always say your heart is going to be the failure of you, basically. Your big heart is going to put you in a body bag. And you know, for a long time, I used to actually believe that. So I used to think I had to be mean. Because you got to think about it. Social standards and what people say really does have a print of how you operate and how you do things and the things you say. So, you know, when you grow up in some households and they say, hey, you don't supposed to show this, or this is what's going to get you hurt. Love will get you hurt,
Right.
in a sense.
Absolutely.
You think you're not supposed to show it or give it.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's a great point. But here's what I'm going to submit to you. It is true. Love will get you hurt.
Yeah.
But the people that's walking around not loving, guess what they feel? Hurt. Loneliness, bitterness, resentfulness, anger, all of those things. It's not like you walking around feeling joyous.
Right.
I don't love nobody and I feel great. Like, you're right. But we're conditioned to do that because a lot of times somebody had an experience
Mm-hmm.
where something was painful.
Right.
And they said, you know what? I'll never do that again. I'll never open myself up again to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the moment you do that, you have allowed that experience to change who you are.
Exactly.
See, Dr. M, let me tell you something. I would love to say that I'm perfect, but I'm not. No. But what I am is a person who loves.
Yeah.
It's the essence of who I am.
Yeah.
To your point, there are many, many people who I love who have done terrible things to me. I still love them.
Yeah.
Now, proximity now,
Yeah.
boundaries is another thing. I can love you and have great
Absolutely.
boundaries. I can love you all the way over there.
Absolutely.
And for some people, I'm like, ooh, love you. Love you, boo. But no.
Yeah.
Access denied. Apology accepted. Access denied.
Yeah.
I
I'm
can
gonna
love
put that
you,
on a
never talk to
t-shirt.
you again.
Can we put that on a t-shirt? Apology accepted.
Access denied.
Access denied.
That's fire.
Yeah.
No, that is dope. Yeah. I
That
can love
means
you and never talk to you again.
And not out of bitterness.
That part.
So how do we round this up? How do we round this up? This whole love discussion. I think we're gonna call this "What's Love Got to Do with It?" What's
okay.
love got to do? Got to do with it? What's love but like an emotion? I'm sorry, Zion. Go ahead. Are you gonna say
Have
something?
you ever
Oh
heard
no, I was just waiting.
You ever heard it before?
I heard it.
Okay.
Don't
good.
ask me if I thought it was good or not, but I've heard it.
That is iconic.
I know it's iconic. I heard it.
Tina Turner.
Legendary. You don't say a song like that. You don't know if it's
What's
good or
love?
not.
That's Tina Turner.
I've heard it before.
Hey man, what love song you like?
Real love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about that
Okay.
real love. I'm
Mary J.
more of a,
Blige?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, they
Okay.
kind of
Or
like
by
on the
my
same wavelength.
She's an
love
Xer.
or love by my guy what's his name?
Music
Soul Child.
Thank you.
Love.
Yeah.
So many people.
That's more my cup of tea.
I got you.
Amen. All right, y'all, listen.
I got you.
Let's keep this conversation brewing. I really want y'all to sit with this, jump in the
Yes.
community and talk about this. This is a big one. And we want to know your perspective about love as well.
Yeah.
This is not monolithic. We're not the love gurus. You know,
Yeah.
we're unpacking how we see it. I love healthy debate. And so somebody might come back and go like, Dr. M. If you know your girl's husband cheating on her, you need to keep your mouth closed and not say nothing. I can receive that. Let's have a conversation because Dr. M would love to debate on that particular point or any other points. But anyway, let's keep this conversation
I'm
brewing.
sorry, I can't receive that. Keep it going though.
I'm not asking
You
for-
can't be my homie. You don't tell me that there's some dirt. You know what I'm saying? There's some dirt in my
I
home.
knew he was over there cooking.
Don't do that, man.
I knew he
You
was over
listen,
there
y'all
cooking.
can't be my friends, but I love y'all anyway. All right.
Amen. So, my dear ones, we've got to ask questions. We got to listen to understand. And then we've got to acknowledge the unique challenges that each generation faces. And then, y'all, we got to look for common ground because trust me, it is there. So until next time, keep sipping and keep talking. Tune in next time for another thought-provoking and entertaining conversation that bridges the generational gap, one cup at a time. Take care.